Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault Gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, today we got your second dose of the salty batch files. Now, as you well know, at the time of this recording, the state of play has indeed happened, so of course there was an overflowing amount of salt that we had to cover, and I had to delay what I have recorded already into next week because this is just too good to pass up, and we gotta get right to it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like you can expect, there's just a Mount Rushmore of salt happening at this very moment at the time of this recording, and there's going to be so much more that I probably can't even get to. I'm buried. It's well over my head in regards to how much salt I'm trying to climb through, swim through, however we want to sift through it.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
But we're going to start right off the gate here, and we're going to do something that was state of play, by the way. This was leaked earlier. Now, Cole Eastwood is the first example. Again, he likes to be featured in every video from now on, apparently. All he has to do is not insert foot into mouth, and I leave it alone. I don't go after stuff to make something out of nothing. Now, Cole Eastwood, he states here, this was leaked, the Soul Reaver 1 and 2, right? Remasters. Activision is about to remaster Legacy, not games a few years old, parentheses, and back compat port, if your console allows, games for Game Pass, PC, and console. This has been long overdue. Now, what's interesting to me here is the fact that he's talking about Soul Reaver, right? In particular as well. And the last I checked, I don't believe Activision had anything to do with Soul Reaver. Was this not Square Enix / Crystal Dynamics / Embracer, all this stuff? I mean, there's been a lot of movement, so if you can't keep up or haven't kept up, I don't blame you. It's even tough for someone like me that tries to be in the know as often and as up to date as possible, of course, so I can know what I'm talking about. But it just already, like, preemptively, it's like, well, hey, you know, this is Activision, you gotta spin a positive before the state of play happens, and then he can't even get it right. He states Activision. Why are you showing Soul Reaver and then, of course, stating Activision? Anybody who's even, I would say, somewhat coherently aware of Soul Reaver and Activision and those IPs and stuff like that knows that they had nothing to do with Soul Reaver nor the remasters. It just goes, the damage control is crazy. The pre-salt, this is the pre-salt. And folks, this is the pre-salt. Have fun with that, what you will. But we almost had a whole feature presentation video I could have done, but I don't think it's super fair to put only one person through a video. I know we like to see a lot of stuff, but we have a lot of examples, folks. Gaz from Septic Sauce, Gaz on Daily, was having an ultimate meltdown today during the state of play here. So we're gonna go through here. He's laughing through all this stuff, right? So what's great here, let's start off with this one, because this is pre-Ghost of Tsushima 2, basically, or Ghost of Yokai, right? Or if I mispronounce that, I apologize, but I'm just in the middle of it here. So he states, as you can see here, ah ha 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 with a Q in there, a qua qua ha, whatever you want to pronounce that. Horizon Zero Dawn remaster is real. 3 laughing, crying emojis. So, making fun of Horizon Zero Dawn, we knew this was pretty much a for sure thing, like a 97% sure thing that this was going to happen. It was leaked a long ass time ago, and then we knew it was definitely coming to this state of play with that 97% chance. What's great though, I don't know why he's laughing. It's a $9.99 upgrade if you already own the game, which a lot of us do. A $9.99 upgrade, and this game looks absolutely phenomenal. So if you didn't go back for whatever reason, didn't plat it, or maybe you played through it, didn't get to the Frozen Wilds and all the DLC or something like that, this thing looks immaculate. So look at the damage control here in regards to that. $10 is all. If you want, you're not forced. Again, you don't have to buy games, folks. You don't have to buy certain games if it's not up your alley. This is a great option. To have those visuals and then have that DualSense compatibility that they're going to implement in this, amazing. $10 is nothing in regards to that. I know corporate shill, you're going to... No. Simple. It's simple. It's $9.99. It didn't cost pennies on the dollar for them to redo this, to remaster it, so to speak, to implement all these features and everything else that's in this game for it being the remaster it is. It's not a lazy gloss of paint and they left it alone. It's not just a lazy port. It looks amazing, folks. So the The pre-salt during the show, he starts his meltdown. You see it start to melt here. And then, of course, we're just going to get straight to the Ghost of Yote. So, sorry, not Yokai, Yokai, or it's Yote. And I believe I said that right. But anyways, we'll get to that in just one more second. But he also goes on here. Please let Pal World on PlayStation be the biggest game of the show. Laughing, crying emoji. This was protected. It was a big game. They made a big deal of it when it released earlier this year. Now it's not a big deal. They threw it away in the dumpster because they knew it was going to head to PlayStation. So as soon as they for sure knew that that was going to likely happen, that hype level, dismal at that point. So he's hoping, he's crossing his fingers at this point, just melting, just fuming. The heat's up there, the sweat pouring down. It's amazing, really, really is. And then, of course, it just gets right to the Ghost of Yote, right? Not gonna lie, Ghost of Yote kind of looks exactly like the PS4 game. What? Let me quickly also on the other side here, let me show you just a simple screenshot. And this is compressed, by the way. This isn't even a full rendering of the 4K. There was nothing in that video. Go watch it, 4K, download it, whatever you gotta do. Immaculate, looks amazing. Beautiful picture there alone, even compressed. Mind-blowing there. You see the damage controlling. Those visuals aren't exactly screaming next gen. Okay. Okay. So we're downloading a sequel to the Ghost IP, the franchise. We're downplaying it. That's where we're at right now. You guys, it's not that great. It's not that great. Let's calm it down. It's not that great. The damage control is amazing. And then he goes on, of course, for Mark Cerny to tout the power of the PS5 Pro and then for Ghost of Yotai to look like that. I'm sorry, but that's not going to cut it at all visually. It'll be a really great game, though, but it's just not at the fidelity level considering the leap from PS4 to PS5. You know it's true, ... What? We are at a point, and he knows this, we are at a point where, yes, visuals are going to come to a certain peak, right? We're having to rely on ray tracing, we're having to rely on frames per second and such like that. Now, everything that encompasses this game, and if you've played the regular Ghost of Tsushima or the director's cut for the PS5 version, whatever the case is, beautiful, immaculate game. To squeeze out more ray tracing or higher frames and stuff like that, possibly 120, we don't know yet at this time of recording, at least to my knowledge. I don't know if it's going to be 120 or not yet. We don't know what bells and whistles are coming with it, but the game looks immaculate already, phenomenal. To downplay something like that, to put Mark Cerny's name out there, a genius of an architect, and as opposed to your own architect, if you're going to claim him for the Xbox side of things, that eats monsters for breakfast, but remember that, but continue to downplay. Look at the conniption he's having. He's trying to talk to himself here. He's instead of talking on social media, he's really just typing to himself to make himself feel better. This is just hands down great. I was having a field day. I was rolling. I'm still rolling. This is amazing. And then, of course, he caps it off. He caps it off with Ghost of Yote takes the state of mid-show from a D to a C. From a D to a C. So then he turns around and goes, look, this game actually is good enough to pop it up a whole level. But again, it was only a D show. So what we're saying is no longer, this is the gatekeeping involved. We can no longer enjoy third-party games. Forget that we played Hell Is Us, or not played, but, you know, seen that game. That looks amazing. Archmage, or Arcade or whatever it was called, looked amazing, right? I'm still getting through all these games right now off the top of my head after just seeing them. But, you know, we also had amazing third-party games like Monster Hunter Wilds that looked great, and that was hype. We got to see some of the enhancements from the PS5 Pro, a quick showcase of that just went through them pretty quickly, and we got to see Metal Gear Solid Delta in there that's going to get enhanced. I mean, folks, this is everything as a gamer that you're kind of looking for, that you're pretty much looking for. Pal World was just like, boom, here's your shadow drop right here. This is being released today. We didn't know if it was like, hey, it's coming out in November, it's coming out late October, maybe even December. We don't know, because especially with all the Nintendo stuff going on, we don't know if, you know, that was going to be delaying anything, because who knows how that outcome's going to be, right, with the company. And I hope for them the best. I I think it's ridiculous. That's a whole nother story, but ridiculous of what Nintendo's doing there. But I had no idea. What a great shadow drop that was to try out. I've been keeping an eye out for that, right? But there was just a lot of stuff. We got new controller colors as well, which are unique. You got the Chroma series, they called. You got new shells for it. I mean, a lot of good stuff. They didn't harp on anything. We got more free DLC coming this fall for Astrobot with Stellar Blade Robot and Helldivers and all sorts of speedrun levels. I mean, they were just going for the most part. There was only like one or two that I was like, and come on, we're getting Lunar. We got that drop for those of us that grew up gaming in that era. Lunar's coming. We got Dino Crisis coming to the Classics collection, and you can buy these. You don't have to sub. Keep that in mind. And then also Blood Omen. I was just talking about Blood Omen the other day, too. I love Blood Omen. What a great way to revisit that. Have the trophies in the PlayStation ecosystem from a D to a C. What else are these guys expecting? What do they get from Xbox? That's the thing. You see how shill like they are. You see the frauds that they stand for. And this is why you can't take folks like this seriously. If Xbox came out and did that and started doing the same stuff and with their IPs and stuff, great. And not having them delayed to Kingdom Come, it's ridiculous. I mean, they've gotten nothing but Hellblade this year, and then they're hoping for Indie, which is going to the competing platform. They have no grounds to stand on. Standing in glass houses and throwing those stones is exactly what Gaz is doing and continues to do, but the meltdown, like I said, to sum that up, has been absolutely immaculate. But let's continue on. Enough of him. I can't. Anyway, enough of that in my head. I got to move on from that picture of the face. But speaking of that, we unfortunately have to also go back to the Catfish, aka Joseph Cruz, aka Andrea Piccinini, still putting on the charade. And here we are. Now they state, where is the anti-woke squad that hated on Fable and Perfect Dark characters for not being attractive enough? Hypocrisy incoming. So again, we're comparing digital females at this point, and that's what they bring up immediately to Damage Control to try and find a W somewhere within there. But do we see how pathetic this is? I mean, immediately, to each their own on taste of anybody, right? That's a whole nother thing. But to bring this up, man, what happened to gaming and just gaming? This is my thing. This was the whole thing with Concord as well, right? It's just, we're focused too much on why we're attracted to digital characters, right? Attractive, you want to see them cool and stuff like that, that's fine. But I shouldn't be looking, you can always make comments like, hey, that particular digital model, male, female, robot, whatever, furry, you can find whatever attractive, that's fine. Or not attractive, that's fine. Different strokes for different folks, right? But to pull this up right after the state of play, what do we do here? What do we do here? That was a great state of play. I can't bash Monster Hunter Wilds. I can't bash 90% of the games in there because a lot of those were third party. Ghost of Tsushima or Ghost of Yotai was also amazing. Oh, I know. We'll bring up the antagonist here or the protagonist here, right? So, man, pure patheticness here. That's all I can say for there. But let's round this off for now because we got more examples as time goes on here. Trust me, an avalanche full. But with next example, final example here, Snap Blast Play with this pure delusion, of course. PlayStation fans looking at Xbox right now after that PS5 state of play with the Indiana Jones deal. Now, what? Why would anybody be looking at an Xbox after the state of play in particular? What screamed like, yeah, well, PlayStation isn't going to have... We know that most Xbox games, if not all Xbox games, are going to come their way towards the PlayStation ecosystem. What? The hardware's done, dude. It's done. It's over. It's over. We'll see what happens next gen with the hard rumored handheld, but it's over. We're done. It's Jover, as they like to say. I don't know what else to state here. This is absolutely crazy. You could probably tell my voice is a little hoarse because I was hooting and hollering, and I've been having a hell of a time with all these meltdowns today, especially with Gaz. I was seriously rolling. So amazing stuff there. At the time of recording, it was my birthday. What a better birthday. You get a state of play, get shadow drops. We get Xbox shills and fraud meltdowns here. Goodness gracious, folks. Amazing, amazing stuff. But as always, I'll wrap up the video here. And of course, leave a like. I would love to hear down in the comment section from you. Did you enjoy? What did you rate the state of play? Did you think it as good as me? If I was to rate it just a quick off the top of my head and thinking about it, I don't want to go too elaborate. It's definitely not a 10 or anything. I had a hell of a time and enjoyed a lot from it, but I think I would give it a solid 8. Depending on what you're looking for, that could be considered a 9 as well. But for me, I think I'm going to be safe about it and say an 8. I'm not going to overhype anything. Anybody that says it's like lower than a 7, I think you need your brain checked a little bit. You're a little delulu there, but that being said, whatever. But again, like and comment. Love to hear from you down below. That does help out the algorithm. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. That helps out a small content creator like myself. So thank you so much. Appreciate that. And as always, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.